sort of does that motion when, Aragorn goes and Fangorn when Gimli raises his axe. Like a no. Don't be threatening.
Exactly. Sure.
Well, she'll bring
Elf will
White
never
Riding
sneak
Gecko.
up on me as long as I live.
She'll make sure to leave like a tabard or something, whatever we have on the gecko, so that it's visibly someone's.
Mm-hmm.
So that people, there's some Skis'rael just go come around eating it, rude as they are.
Smudged
Sure.
in vomit.
Oh yes. Feed it some of those mushrooms it doesn't like. It'll keep it busy.
Or does it really like it?
That's the question. She doesn't care to ask or answer.
Well, as you approach the northern edge of the fungal jungle, you see, the cave wall coming down, and you see a collection of caves and holes and openings leading into the mountainside all over the place. It almost like honeycombed. Seems to be quite a labyrinth, actually. But apparently, Larathac knows where he is headed, and dives into one of the caverns and asks you to follow him. As you begin doing so, you begin the ascent through the cave system. It is quite, choke full, as it seems, with dust, old bones, spider webs, and many weird angles and blind alleyways, as it were, into the caverns. You would think that if you would have gone here yourselves, it would have been quite a challenge to get through all of this. It is quite disconcerting and confusing to try to navigate all of this yourselves. But roughly, a few hours into the cave system, you get spoken to by Larathac and he says, "Matron, the caverns of the Skis'raal is ahead." He sort of looks around. "I shall take you before the White Spider. I am sure she wants to speak to you."
Alauneari just sort of nods, keeping her posture and stature sort of, aloof, and she knows she's important.
Mm-hmm.
But do they know you're important?
Well, they will when they see her.
Yes, clearly. All right. As you walk into the caverns here, Larathac sort of skitters ahead a bit, and in his strange, shivering language, he seems to call out to what you would guess are guards or something around to do something. You're not sure.
I'm not.
Rilinid, who knows the language, can understand that Larathac tells the guards to stand back because he brings important visitors to the White Spider.
Fantastic. It's important to know, walking into these narrow caverns, kill those who follow after me.
Yep. There's a lot of sound around you coming from the caverns, and you see, looking in here, it really is choke full of spiderweb, all over this place. You really need to pick your way through it. It's not really sticky as such. It's more a type of web that the spiders use to climb around on. So you're not really in a danger to get stuck, you think. But there is a lot of threads and such hanging all over the place, and it is quite difficult for you to navigate this. All of the cameras in here is going to be counted as difficult terrain for you.
You know just how to annoy her. She didn't prepare spells for that.
Where's freedom of movement, Manaki?
Exactly.
Could have done spider climb, but I didn't.
Look, I'm just like you.
exactly.
She does have cultural adaptation, so she's gonna have some weird mannerisms when talking to the white spider.
She just skitters and moves about in a jerky, weird way.
Makes it feel at home.
Mm-hmm.
Gets her points across.
Then it casts its own spells.
All right. Larthak turns around and sort of motions to you with one of his legs that you can follow him.
Sure. Again, we all assume that Miku just stays close to Alauneari.
Yep.
Miku's not there anymore.
Oh, he's gone. It's just you hear a
Turn
muffled
around.
scream from above.
Yep.
Color.
All right, let's reveal some stuff.
So is it completely dark in
Stuff.
here, Jonas?
Yeah, well, as you get in here, you do notice there seems to be a little bit of light coming from two areas. First, over here in this cavern, again a lot of like webs and stuff all over the place. You can't really see what's going on in here, but there is a faint sort of bioluminescence coming from in there. You also, you can see. You can see sort of workers or doing something in there. You almost think you hear the sound of what sounds like maybe like tools being used. You can't really fathom what kind of tools it would be, but that is a feeling you get from like this cavern over here. Looking in this cavern, this seems to be more of a like a common cavern, like common room almost, nesting place maybe. A lot of Skis'raal seems to be skittering about here. And you also notice that in the ceiling here seems to be hanging like a few like beasts or creatures, like basically encased in spider web. Maybe it's some sort of like food storing place. You're not sure. All of the spiders sort of look at you quite hungrily when you walk in here, but none of them really seem to move against you, as it were.
Alauneari will smirk. She knows she's delicious. So, just quickly before we get further in, we've probably discussed in Elven at least a short while what's our approach to this meeting should be.
While you discuss that shortly in Elven, I will be right back.
Well, we probably did before we got here. It would seem like this part of our move. But I mean, we didn't really have a gathered approach with the alchemist. And perhaps if we have some sort of, if we know what we want to say, that might be a good idea.
Well, let's see here. Obviously, Larthak is going to be speaking on our behalf. You can mention the fact that we were kind enough to save him, and we probably have, crazy devices that can traverse the lake, or whatever the damn artisan might say, I don't know. We don't exactly know what kind of power angle we're dealing with here. However, I think it's fair to say that the Skis'raal are at least both like numbers wise and from a sheer power wise weaker than the Zyn.
Most likely, yes, but I don't think we should.
Right.
I don't think that really matters because they're more powerful than us anyway.
In regard to like angle, well, let's see. Alauneari was talking about that whole, like, seeing, oh, goodness, the Zyn and Skis'raal, unified at peace. We can try that angle and go along with the same thing that we did with the alchemist to try to improve our relations with the Zyn, in the possible, like, hopes of maybe convincing both of them to be at peace because we can get more from them if they're not killing each other.
Yeah. But then again, their peace is kind of a secondary thing. The most important thing would be, because I think the Skis'raal are easier to get to help us than the Zyn.
Right.
Like, the chance of them being
I don't think they're going to spare, like, anything to help us take Vothis, though, unless they can stop worrying so much about the Zyn.
Yeah.
We're going to have to get on their good graces, like a friendship-based level, or maybe even alliance before they're like, yeah, sure, we'll help send troops. We'll answer to a call of arms. It's not too distant of a war. I got a CB on Vothas. Come on, man. Help me out.
Yeah. Let me reclaim it. It's a core.
That's right. It's a core. Like, no aggressive expansion.
Uh-huh.
To that said,
Alright.
yeah, I think as friendly as Alauneari can muster with the White Queen, especially because, you know, she's going to be female of her own. Maybe...
A little more kinship there.
That's right, yeah. Alauneari can relate to her better than a crazy giant mushroom thing.
Most definitely.
You know, maybe something. Oh, you know, maybe she'll be more receptive after we've established some initial trade. We can say that Miku is there. He's sort of like as an emissary of his own to observe that we mean our words and are trying to establish peaceful relations. So that whenever we go back to Zyn, he can tell everyone in his fucking honest, guileless way, yes, they really mean peace and understanding. They want us to stop killing each other.
They took me directly into the city of the Skis'raal, where they paid homage to the White Queen.
That's right. I have seen and observed everything. I know their tunnels.
I know the way through the tunnels. Yes.
That's right.
To Wall, Zyn. It's like,
Turns
oh,
out
no.
he's like some sort of like master spy. I have fooled
They played us for fools. Do you really think we have survived for so long?
You are all my bitch.
He destroys the egg sack.
All this time, I knew.
Oof, he just charges it when he sees it.
How stupid do you think I am?
Alauneari's like, well, you know.
Silence beast.
Oh, man. So yeah, we'll just play it by ear, and, you know, hopefully she doesn't want to charge us and kill us like the alchemist almost did a few times.
So you want to inquire to the religion? All right.
Well, I think she is their religion.
That would be great. Alauneari can, she can relate to that.
You know, if they start talking about killing us in Skis'raal, then I might say something. Like, run.
Fly, fools.
That's right.
And jump into a chasm with her.
Yes, abandon everyone else and just like, fuck the nose. Going to jump into the chasm with this gigantic spider.
You know.
And then fight it for the next 2 months.
I am Rilinid the White. What?
I have returned.
I'm like covered in spider web.
Oh, yes. Like a cocoon hanging from a tree. Or like a mushroom.
Oh, you're Rilinid the White. You're covered in spider web.
No, I have been sent back.
That's right.
Are you high?
That's right.
What's
I think you were injected with a lot of venom, man.
turn for the weirder?
Exactly. All right. Are you ready to proceed?
Does anyone else have any input?
I mean,
I'm just
It's-
worried that we don't really have anything to offer for these Skis'raal to join us in our war against Waffles. I mean, if they don't hate them just straight out and would like an opportunity, we don't really have anything, do we?
well, we know about the White Spider that she's very protective, and that there's a big problem with the survival, really, of the Skis'raal. They're worried about just dying out, I think, was our general idea. And she's very worried about survival.
Worst case,
And
you
so
know.
perhaps playing off of that, powerful allies, friendly relations, and just knowing that, safety from attack, that if we ruled Vathas, then, she would know to be safe. And we're willing to prove our dedication to this goal by aiding her in some sort of way she needs it, right?
And if that angle fails, we can send Zyn out to hunt down big game to bring back as a gift.
Yeah.
Since he's so
Sure.
concerned about it.
We can summon eagles for her.
Here, have some eagles.
It's like plonk them down. Take some.
Doesn't look very substancy. It
have
seems
like
like when I
30.
bite into that, it will disappear.
Just swallow it whole. Die on the way down.
Perfect weight loss food, actually. Creatures.
Nutritious yet strangely unfilling. It's like the
Exactly.
that fucking like Esper machine or whatever in Chrono Trigger. HPMP restored,
Yeah, exactly.
but you're still hungry.
Yep. Like, that sound effect.
Anything else before we continue walking the webs? Dead silence. Guess we're continuing to walk in the webs.
Someday Alauneari will make this into a silk factory.
Silk.
They will work in a sweatshop to produce fine silks.
And then they'll harvest
There's
those
potential in everything.
those treasures from the Lake of Diamonds.
Oh yes, that's the Skis job for Skis'raal. Once she's warped their form into being aquatic spiders. All in good time.
Yeah, we should probably get moving out anyway.
She's dreaming of conquest.
Got that faraway look in her eyes.
In 100 years.
Yeah. Oh, she's in that place again. Huh.
I mean, yeah. You probably know by now.
And she's in the place of brimstone today.
Oh, Skis'raal Soldier 5 Advanced.
Yep.
That doesn't look terrifying, just from a sheer image stance.
Good thing we didn't storm the gates.
As you walk in here...
Where's Miko?
Uh-oh.
Oh well.
I'm revealing stuff here. I can't...
I know.
I'm not a spider. Or am I? Yes, as you walk in here... you quickly realize that you're probably right now walking through the sort of Skis'raal nursery. There is a lot of like web and stuff all around here. There's also a lot of Skis'raal that seems to be quite more dangerous than what you've seen so far. I mean, these are clearly brutes in a way. Like they are their fangs are much more powerful, like drip with venom, and they move about and look at you with the other Skis'raal looked at you with hunger. These look at you with like malice. They are ready to probably attack and rip you to pieces at a moment's notice. You get the feeling. In the ceiling of this cavern, it's quite high. You see a glistening large egg sac being suspended from a lot of webs. It is the size of an elephant, and it like almost hums with life as you see like what you would estimate to be thousands of eggs resting in this egg sac. The soldier spider sort of climb around it and seems to sort of check on it almost constantly.
Can Alauneari sort of from a quick look discern how easy it would be to destroy?
She would guess that a fireball would probably destroy it quite well.
How much negative energy would be required? She doesn't really have fireballs available.
If you were to channel, you mean?
Yeah. Do each of the eggs count as a separate creature?
Well, how much damage can she do when the channel is like 1d3?
2d3.
2d3. She would guess that she would need I don't know, a couple of rounds to do it. 3 to 5 rounds, perhaps.
She might be able to survive that. All right. Good to know. She doesn't really fancy crawling up there or anything, though.
No, you would kind of need to climb up there. Miko stays close to Zyn here.
It's Tine there.
I'm here.
Because I'm just saying Trislan's at the very gate, so.
Oh, sorry.
She really has followed.
I did follow. I'm just scared.
He just like stays around, just like admiring things,
Oh,
starts
dear.
asking them questions. What do you eat? Well,
So do they say anything?
Funny you should ask.
Where do you poop?
Tender drow. Wait, the white spider's not even large?
Is the white spider not even white?
Do you want it to be large?
It's white. No, it's alright.
I mean, I'm sure Jonas can advance it even further for you.
its AC is decent enough to be
You give it the dire template.
Dire Spire.
Yeah, as you walk
Clockwork.
into this cavern, a clockwork spider, you see that first of all, the webs in this place have sort of taken almost like an art direction. Like all the walls here are like plastered with spider silk, like what do you call them? Like banners and drapes and like basically scenes, what you would guess of some sort of religious nature. And it all sort of, it moves the eye of the beholder to center around this place where you see this very strange, almost crystalline, like shimmering white spider sitting. It sits upon what almost looks like some sort of throne built of web and bone.
Is Alauneari gonna go up there and push her off and sit on it?
And sort of the webs and the silk of this place sort of shimmer in rainbow colors. Probably quite valuable actually in here. This is clearly a place of like leadership, commandship, and worship, you would guess. Next to the white spider, you see a big, very brutish-looking spider that peers very hostile at you. It has very big mandibles, and it looks even more vicious than the soldiers you have passed in the former cavern. Larafak, skitters in, and seems to do a bowing motion of some sort in front of this white spider, and then he skitters away in his weird, strange language. He seems to Rilinid to sort of quickly recant before the white spider tell the story of how he got captured and how he got saved, and basically motion to Alauneari and the others. The white spider doesn't really say anything. You see her sort of, stare with her unblinking eyes at Larafak and you. And then she sort of, makes a small motion with one of her legs, and Larafak, quickly falls silent and sort of moves away to the side. The white spider looks at you and says in a surprisingly lilting, like and clear voice, "You may approach."
Alauneari does so, as she does, producing the cultural adaptation spell, allowing her to speak in the language of the Skis'raal. Or not the language, in the mannerism, I suppose.
And now the white spider
with
is the same, and we're all confused.
With the
white
knowledge
spider
of
acts like a
culture and
drow,
accent and such.
it's like a
So
spider.
she has like that drawl, like, and then she just like waves you to the side because you sound like another one of her servants.
The white spider is actually speaking Elven.
Oh, that's fancy.
And she seems to, she doesn't seem to have the drawly sort of hissing sound of the other spiders. She has quite a different countenance to this.
Well, they will adopt the manner of speaking that the white spider uses.
Okay.
Seems to be, it's. Hopefully, she will appreciate the gesture.
Yes, hopefully.
She slows and says, "I see you are as beautiful as they say, white spider." Smiling, looking about the throne. "And your people do have a magnificent sense of art."
That spider makes a small motion with her one of her legs. "It pleases me that you can appreciate some of the art my people create, drow." She sort of looks up and down at Alauneari. "It was Alauneari, I believe."
bows. Alauneari, matron of House Vytharia. These are my siblings.
The White Spider looks at the rest and say, I thank you for rescuing Larathak from the Isle of Seven Horns. The Skis'raal owe you a small debt of gratitude for his return. She seems to nod. For this, you are free to move through our lands without being attacked. She seems to nod again. I shall relay this to my hunters.
He bows again and says, perhaps a map of your lands could be provided as well. This would aid us in our exploration and mapping efforts of this fungal jungle.
The White Spider sort of, looks at the Lara and she gets the feeling that it's considering her. And she says, it is a bit surprising to see a drow in the jungle doing mapping. I was under the impression that your kind had left the jungle to its own devices.
Our kind are many, and we each have individual goals.
Yes.
We are not as many others of our kind. Rather unique, I would say.
Spider seems to consider. I see. And since you have not attacked my people outright, I do guess that you are not perhaps directly affiliated with the new Baroness of Vothis.
Alauneari sort of smirks and says, we do have a very complicated relationship with the Baroness. You see, she was under the impression that me and my siblings were easy fodder for her ambition. She will soon enough know that that is not the truth. Smiles. Family is important, and she underestimated ours.
Spider seems to consider this and says, I see. I take it then that you are some sort of fallen noble house to get exiled into Vothis. And don't look surprised, I know many things. The spider can't really smile, but you get the feeling that she's doing it the best she can.
Alauneari doesn't really expect the spider to believe any bullshit she would tell, so she's pretty honest with it. Like with the alchemist. There seems to be no reason to lie. And says, yes, you could say that. Our mother, she looks, many years ago, produced many incantations and corrections of future events to come. And as such, we have become in our very being a threat to those of our people with ambitions similar to us. Smiles. The deck has been stacked, if you will. Now, this Baroness has, given most people in the jungle quite a bit of trouble. Her incursions and actions are foolish, and she would seek to destroy such beings as she looks around you, as well as any others, of course. We would perhaps seek to work together with your kind. Now, we understand that we have nothing much at the moment to offer you except promises, of which I'm sure you do not care much for.
What Spider considers. You must understand, Matron Vytharia, that your kind has a long and sordid history hunting or trying to enslave my people. She looks around. Many have died to the drow incursions. You and your people seem to see us as beasts of burden or pets fit for your gladiator rings or some sort of frowns as best she can, some sort of experiments. We are neither. We are a proud people, matron, and we will not be subjugated by them or by you.
Alauneari sort of brings out her hands, gesturing to the very beautiful artwork and the throne. Says, "You, as the works of art of your people, are things that could not be reproduced in any laboratory or any slave encampment. Your people thrive in the jungle, here where they belong. Your people thrive in the way you live, and that is not something our people could ever hope to replicate. If me and mine," gesturing to her family, "were to rule Arthas, then it would be simply foolish of us to enslave those who would be our friends, those who would be our allies. Instead, we, as not many of our people, seek alliances, friendships, and equal partnerships in our work. That seems to be what makes the most sense in not wasting the potential of each specific individual. Slaves do not perform at maximum capability."
What Spider seems to almost chuckle and says, yes, always the drow focus on performance and results. It is rather peculiar of your people, but I can respect it." She looks around. "You have come with many sweet words, Matron Vytharia, and I have a feeling of you. There is a darkness within your group, a miasma surrounding you." She sort of, moves around a bit. "Yes, the signs are unclear." Sort of again moves around and looks at you. "You have potential, I can see that. But your future is uncertain. Interesting. I wonder why." And she sort of peers at you.
And there looks to him and says, "Our results are necessary at the moment. There is not much, I'm sure you understand that there is not much that can be left to chance when the existence of your family and your heritage is in question."
The Spider seems to consider this and says, "Yes, I know very much the necessity of keeping the family, as you call it."
A matron must protect her own, and do so with all the capability she has. Making unlikely alliances is one of the ways in which we can greatly improve our chances of succeeding in a world that would rather not have us do so. Said the spider. "Although you may see this alliance, if you will, allows it to be a suggestion again, to be needing of some proof of our dedication, we of course would be willing to do some gesture to show that we are indeed what we say we are."
Well, Spider seems to consider this and slowly nods and says, "Interesting. Drow offering us to do us favors." She seems to move around a bit. "Well, if you are indeed sincere in your promises and pledges,